Welcome back to my Quizizz experiments. Today we're continuing talking about escape rooms. In our last episode, I told you about the mechanics of a Quizizz escape room. I talked about some other types of escape rooms I'd made and how logistically they're a lot of work, but Quizizz escape rooms are far less work. And now that I've done it, I've got it forever, and it's easy for me to swap out the questions. And today I'm going to tell you about the types of questions that I put into my escape rooms. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, Japanese, English, and health to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Yes, I'm a very busy lady. Talk to me about this at the Quizizz Game Changers and AI Certified Teachers, or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge or the Minecraft Education Ambassadors, where I'm making giant Minecraft escape rooms, or Roxem, or Duolingo Educators Network, or the Teacher Excellence Lounge, or the World Language Teachers Lounge. Every single one of my escape rooms, all my escape rooms, the only reason I do escape rooms is for that comprehensible input. We read a lot in my classes because we know that reading is like the single best way to learn language quickly. You have the repetition, which is necessary, and you've got all the words in context. And Bryce Hedstrom, my hero, says that reading helps you learn 9 times faster than just, hey, here's a list of vocabulary words, memorize it. All the words are connected to each other. We know this is crucial. So we do read a lot in my classes, and then I want to make sure that the students understood, plus I want to get that one last oomph of let's use the vocabulary that you just learned in the book. So right now I'm going to give you a specific example of my Arsène Lupin escape room for my French 2 and 3 and 4 classes. We read a chapter out of Arsène Lupin. We read my favorite chapter, which is the second chapter. Don't ask me. I don't want to start with the first chapter. The first chapter kind of gives everything away. I like the second chapter. Arsène Lupin is France's answer to Sherlock Holmes, by the way. Sherlock Holmes, of course, being the world's greatest detective, France's answer has to be the world's greatest thief, right? So, very first thing you need to know in Quizizz is that whenever you do a game, and whenever, it's going to change every single time you do you press on that play live game. Every single time you do it, you are going to have to scroll down to your settings at the very bottom. Scroll down where it says Customize and click on that. And when you click on Customize, you're going to see this. It says Power-Ups, Live Reaction, blah, blah, blah. You want to make sure that this is enabled. Show memes after each question. And then you got to find your meme set. Now, in the last episode, I talked about making my meme sets for the escape rooms. I've got my French escape room meme set. I've got my Spanish escape room meme set, and I've got my Japanese escape room meme set. And you can kind of see right here that there's for some reason the screenshot just was on the incorrect one. If the student gets the question wrong, they get a thing, and I left it in English saying, sorry, you don't get a clue. Okay, but all my other ones are in the target language. Then, when you play live class, you have to make sure that your students, when they click on, they put their Quizizz name in and everything, they have to make sure that their memes are enabled. Okay, so that's a button for them to click. So you might have to walk around the room, make sure everyone's got that before you start the game. That's okay, because it'll work that way. All right. So, Quizizz, what I'm loving about Quizizz is that they have a lot of different question types. Now, you know I love Blukit to pieces. Blukit has multiple choice, and they have typing. And that's it for right now. Maybe they'll get more later. But I love that. But I am really, really enjoying the cognitive demand that Quizizz is giving me. So I'm a little disappointed as I search the library. Like, I teach health over the summer. I teach Wannick Summer Health, and I thought, well, instead of me having to make my own quizzes, let's see what's already on Quizizz. Every single one I find is just multiple choice. And I don't want to do something with just multiple choice. Heck, I'll go to Blukit if I want to do nothing but multiple choice. Okay? Quizizz can do more. I should be able to use more question types. So let me just start off with, for me, for multiple choice, this is very targeted for me. It's not a gimme question. It's, hey, I want you to think about this, and I know you know the answer already, but this is going to reinforce it for you. Okay, so that's what I'm really looking for. My students, we drill this all the time. The difference between savoir and connaître. Okay, to know facts and to know people and places and subjects to a great degree. We talk about that till the cows come home. The students still forget it. They still forget it. But there's no reason for me to make a multiple choice of here's 5 different possibilities and confuse them, because what I really want them to think about right here is, oh wait, I know it's connaître here because the Baron knows about Lupin's thievery to a great degree. So that's all I really want them to think about. Okay, it's not like here's an easy question for you. It is an easy question, but I want to get them thinking. So that's the reason I do that. And let's see, okay, I'll show you that in a second. So I do have a bunch of multiple choice questions, but they're all very targeted. Okay, another thing I like to do with my multiple choice questions is I put pictures in the answer. So I've got the question in the target language, and then the students have to choose between the picture which one illustrates the story, especially since Arsène Lupin doesn't have any pictures in it. So when we're reading a whole class, I have them draw a lot, you know. What else do I have here? Oh, this was a good little phrase, dormez sur vos deux oreilles, that my students thought was really funny. It's sleep on both your ears, so you must be sleeping comfortably. So I had pictures in anyway. And then another multiple choice of pictures. Okay, so here's what it looks like to your students, okay? Because I want to show you also not just what it looks like for you, but what it looks like to your students. So here's the question, and I want the students to know the difference between avoir and être and all the idioms with avoir, okay? The Baron has fear. He is not fear incarnate, okay? So I just have the 3 choices, has, there is, and is, just so that the students can think about, oh, wait, which one was it? Oh, yeah, okay, I know this one. All right, so it's reinforcing. And here's what one of the picture ones looks like. This was just a choice between 2. And then this was a choice between 4. But it's Quizizz is very pretty, and it has pretty nice music and pleasant gamified sounds. I'm always looking for that gamification. I decided with this set I was going to experiment with generative AI pictures, and man, that was a lot of work doing generative AI because half the time it was so stupid. So generative AI couldn't do this, so I wound up doing clip art and pasting it together myself. Okay. Oh, here's that one. That's the difference between savoir and connaître. That's what it looks like for the students. Okay, and then the students get a clue if they got it right. And so they can take their paper that I've given them and start making notes about the clues. The clues don't stay up for very long. So if the students are futzing around taking too much time, then they'll just have to play the game a little more, right? Okay, the next thing that Quizizz does, it has fill in the blanks, and fill in the blanks are great. Okay, you need fill in the blanks a lot. I really want the students to know this because it's going to figure into the great, the big clue at the end, okay? And so this is what that looks like from the student point of view. Now you have a choice when you do fill in the blank. You have a choice to do either one long box so the students don't know how many letters, or you can give them letter by letter so the students can say, oh, well, this word is 5 letters long. Obviously, I'm using the wrong word. All right, for this one, I just chose to use letter by letter. And you can have them do whole sentences. You can have them do whole paragraphs. All right. Another good thing that Quizizz does, oh my gosh, have I talked for 9 minutes already? Maybe I'll have to split this one in half too. This is a categorized question. Okay, so you can have the students, and this I really like because as I'm watching my students do this, they are thinking very, very deeply when they come to these questions. They're thinking very deeply. Not only do they have to read the question in the target language, they have to be able to read all these words. Okay, so here I've got Lupin wants to steal. What does he want to steal? Put it here. What does he not want to steal? Put it here. Okay. And these other words that were here are words from the story, but I need them to understand you can't steal a castle. He's not going to steal the maids and the butlers. He's not going to steal the baron. Okay, he's going to steal the jewels. He's going to steal the paintings. He's going to steal the money, that kind of stuff. He's not going to steal the well that has a subterranean entrance, and hopefully it's blocked up. He's not going to steal the bridge to get into the castle. All right, so I need the students to understand that. But they're really thinking very hard whenever they get to any of these categorized questions. It's really higher on the Bloom's taxonomy, right? So that's why I'm really enjoying these a lot. I think I'm just going to bull through this, and we'll just have an extra long one because I want to keep all these question types together. All right, labeling. I'm really loving labeling. I've got these pictures. Again, I tried generative AI, and you don't know how many times I tried generative AI to get something that was, okay, fine, is good enough. Okay. But I've got the students labeling the picture, and then here they're labeling the castle, and here's the bridge, and here's the well, and here's the river. And then I thought, you know what? With the labeling, I'll bet I could do a close activity. So I've got, this is the letter that Lupin writes. Hey, I'm going to come steal your stuff. You know what would be nice if you just send it to me instead of me coming to steal it. So I took out some words, and then I'm just having the students label what goes here, what goes there, what goes there. And yes, I put in a couple of fake labels for all of these. So the students really have to think about not only what goes here, but is this the word I want? This is kind of different. Okay. And then for this one, another close activity, but I don't know, it's kind of driving me crazy. Let me put these over here. My students keep leaving the S off of les toilettes. Toilets are always in plural. Les vacances is always in plural. Always. Okay? It's just, like in English, it's always pants. I'm wearing pants. It's always plural. That's sometimes we say pair of pants, right? But it's always plural, even though it's one item of clothing. So I just want to reinforce that with the students. So not only do I have vacances and vacances without the S, but I also have toilettes just to remind them, hey, keychain method of memorization, put these in your head together because these are always going to be plural. Okay, so these are what these look like to the students. They're going to have the picture with the blanks in it and the labels to move over. Okay, here's the close activity. And I put some words that don't appear here so that the students have to make sure that they're spelling things right. They always get table and tableau confused. Don't want them to get it confused. I want them to think about it. And here's the castle. So that's what it looks like. Very pretty. Okay, now the next two I've put together. There are two different question types. There's the drag and drop, and there's the drop down. And they're really very similarly cognitively. They're similarly cognitively. I can speak English too, Okay, so here, the drop down, the students are going to come to this one, and they're going to press the button, and they're going to see a bunch of word choices here. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And they'll see a bunch of word choices here. And they're the same word choices, but they have to choose between them. Okay, and then drag and drop is the words are underneath or to the side, and then the students have to drag them over as if they're labeling. Okay, so here's another drag and drop. Okay, so this is what it looks like to the students. This is a drop down, okay? Le baron 40A, and then they select answer. When they click here, all the word possibilities come up, okay? And then I think I have because this was I had two in the same sentence. Okay, so then they select the first one, and then they can go to the second one, and they could do it in either order, but you could see that the select button, once you click on it, it covers up the other one so that, I don't know, because of space constraints on the screen or whatever, okay? And then they click the submit button. But down here, all right, so that was drop down, and then drag and drop looks like this. And I've got all the words at the bottom, and here I just want my students thinking about the difference between ne pas, ne jamais, ne rien, ne plus, all that. So they'll drag the ne up here, and they'll drag the jamais up here, but they need to know that it's not, Lupin doesn't leave any more clues. Lupin leaves no clues whatsoever, and they've got to know Lupin never leaves clues. Okay, and then here's another drag and drop. Okay, and again, I've got fake things in here. I've got fake things in all of them so that the students have to really think about it cognitively, because that's the whole point. They need to be using the language. They need to be applying the language. Hotspot is pretty fun. Hotspot is kind of like labeling, but they're just going to click on an image where they think something is. So here's the question: where is the detective with his two men? Okay, so they've got to know that the detective is in a room where he can look at the bridge and he can look at the well and make sure that Lupin doesn't come through. And his two men are stationed in the gallery where the paintings are, the expensive paintings. They've got to know that. Hopefully my students aren't watching this. And here, Lupin's explaining that the guards always, because Lupin's in prison. Okay, how did he, it's a locked door mystery. How did he rob the stuff if he's in prison? That's why I love this chapter so much. So he says the guards, search my clothes. Okay, but they never search my drawer. So I have another one, which is the drawer. All right, and then this is what it looks like for the students. Okay, they'll have the picture with the circles on it, and they have to search. They have to click where it indicates. Okay, and then here's the map. Oh my God, you don't know how long it took me to generate a map, and finally I just cobbled it together from other things because generative AI is not really intelligent. We've misnamed it artificial intelligence. It is not. Okay, reorder. I'm trying to decide which is my favorite, my absolute favorite Quizizz thing. I'm sorry I'm up at 16 minutes. Reorder I love so much. There's so much we can do with this. Okay, so one thing is we've got a sentence. Put the sentence in order. Okay, so my question is, where is Lupin? And I want the students to be able to say Lupin is in prison. Okay, the Baron has 3 old maids and butlers. Okay, the Baron finds Ganimard on the banks of a river. Then we can do more than just one sentence. Okay, I'm trying to teach my students to understand a story. So I've got a lot of questions about put the story in order, put the things that happen in order. Okay, so first of all, Arsene's in prison. Secondly, you see the Baron is rich and greedy. Third, Lupin sends a letter to the Baron. 4, the Baron's afraid of Lupin. 5, the Baron finds Ganimard. Okay, that's just the first part of the story. I got a lot of these questions because I really want to make sure my students understand. And that's what these look like. And there'll always be a little like hand animation showing, okay, drag it here, drag it here, drag it here. Okay, so there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the words in order for the sentence. Okay, make a sentence. Put it in a sentence. Okay. This is matching. Okay. Well, maybe this was, yeah, this is a matching one. So we've got a phrase, the Baron runs from left to right, crazy, and I cut it off, crazy with anger, crazy with rage. All right. And I wanted the students to know the difference between left and right, basically. So I'm having them match up some pictures of which one's left, which one's right, and I've got the Baron, he's running around. Okay, that one turned out pretty fun. I like that one. What are the clues? I want the students to match up the clue with the picture because I really, really want them visualizing what has happened in the story. Okay, so let's see, which one should we start with? Oh, this is put the story in order. This should have gone on the other screen. Sorry about that. Arsene's in prison. Yeah, so he's in prison to start the story, and then there's a Baron who's rich and greedy, so they've got to be able to drag these into position. Sorry, that's a put it in order. Okay, so this is a matching. Okay. And it's always the same at the bottom. Okay, and these pictures will be scrambled for the students. So I like that because then I could make sure that left always winds up on the left and right always winds up on the right. So the students have to put that all in order. What's middle, what's towards the right, what's to the right, they had to figure that all out. And then this was, what are the clues? And I really, really, really like the way this works out. I wish sometimes I could put the pictures down here, but I can't. I can only put the pictures here. But, I can work with that. Okay. It's harder. Like on Quizlet, it always drives me crazy that I can't put pictures on the front side of Quizlet cards. Quizlet, not Quizizz. I do not like Quizlet for that major thing right there. Quizzes, I can work with this. This is fine. Okay, so anyway, here's the pictures, and you see I had to cobble things together because generative AI just wasn't doing it for me. Oh my gosh, there was one picture where I needed two guards, and the guards had to be guys, and generative AI just kept giving me one guy and one girl, and I finally said, I was like, make the guards two guys, and yeah, it finally made them two guys, but now they're holding hands and they're obviously in love. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll just cobble it together myself. Generative AI, what can I say? All right, so anyway, I really, really love this. I'm having a hard time deciding what my favorite question type is. But you know what I love the most is that I scramble them up. There's different question types. The students are getting really, really good cognitive engagement. All right, I deeply apologize. That was 20 minutes long, and normally, you know, I like my videos to be 10 minutes long. But come talk to me about this at Quizizz Game Changers and AI Certified Teachers, or comment under here. Help me make escape rooms. I love making escape rooms, but they are a heck of a lot of work. So if we all work together, we can all come up with great escape rooms and, you know, share amongst each other. And I would love that to pieces because I'll have less gray hair and so will you. So I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you for bearing with me for 30 minutes now. See you on the